Hi, brother teacher. What makes a karate student worthy of his or her rank? What makes any martial arts student, regardless of the discipline, what makes them worthy of their rank? I want to say this to you, and I've said this before. Even though I've been in the martial arts for about 50 years almost, and I've studied many disciplines, I am Grandmaster Stroud. I don't wear that on my sleeve. Just want you to know that. And I stated in an earlier video that the only real master that exists in the universe is God Almighty, the Creator. He is the master. He is the grand ultimate master. All of these titles that we have on this earth, irrespective of what the vocation is, be it martial arts, be it in the military, be it in the judicial system, be it in government, they're temporary. They only exist in our own minds while we are yet living here on earth. That's really it. And that's all. They're immaterial, irrelevant as it relates to the Creator. Let's understand and overstand what I just said. Now, getting back to the original question, what makes a student worthy of his or her rank? First of all, I use the generic term karate. There are different styles and systems of karate. The reason I use the term karate in my title is because it is probably one of the most commonly understood and recognized terms as it relates to martial arts. If I say jinen-do and jinen-do and various other martial arts titles in my title, people probably would not comprehend right away what I'm referring to. But when you use karate as a general term, then most people are familiar with karate. So I'm actually talking about any martial arts style or systems rank. Let's understand, let's comprehend this. Most and all systems of martial arts have a ranking system. There are some, and I'm speaking of going back in the day when I was coming up in the 70s, there are some martial arts systems that have never had belts, belt ranking systems. That is more akin to Japanese and Okinawan martial arts and judo. Kung Fu originally never had a color belt system. All right, there were sashes. Now, someone said some years ago, a belt is only to hold your coat together, to hold your pants up. We use these belts, these ornamental systems, to show where our students have arrived, so to speak, when they have arrived, when they have accomplished a certain level of martial arts expertise, proficiency, etiquette, skill set, knowledge of history and the science of that particular art, and so forth. It's a compilation of things. So what I want to share with you here in terms of a martial arts student deserving their rank, in other words, I rank my students, and someone asked me the question, do you use the color belt system? I do, but I don't believe in the belt system. I use the color rank system, but I don't believe in the belt system. First of all, it's not mine. That came from another origin, the belt ranking system. I use it because of a couple reasons. Number one, I use it for traditional reasons because that's the way I came, and I use it out of respect and honor for the way in which I came. Secondly, I only refer to the colors to represent things in nature. For example, the yellow belt in my system represents the sun. The green belt represents a tender branch. The brown belt represents a tree. The red belt represents blood. The blue belt represents water. Not any system that I know of uses that methodology, but myself. Specifically, what I just pointed out. And black is a compilation of all of those things combined, which is completion of all of those levels. Now, what's going to sound sort of contradictory is the fact I'm going to say that even with all of those belts, I still don't believe in the belt system. I only use it for an ornamental and traditional purpose. We identify in my system with the colors and what they represent. You follow? Now, what everyone else does in the Korean martial arts and the Japanese and Okinawan and the Chinese martial arts and the American martial arts and the Filipino martial arts and so on, whatever they do is what they do. So, getting back to the question, what makes a student worthy of their rank? Every instructor who teaches a prospective student, and that student has been with him or her for a period of time, we give them ranking to encourage them, to let them know that we have acknowledged their progress at a particular level and we see them or deem them necessary to go to the next rank. That helps student retention, even though that should not be the primary reason, but it does help in some respects student retention. It lets the student know that you're paying attention to them and that you have a degree of respect for them and that you are acknowledging their development as a student. Okay, now the crux of what I'm really getting at is, as far as what makes a student worthy of their rank is this. Ladies and gentlemen, we're human beings. We all are going to get old and older one day. There are sometimes students come into your dojo, your kun, your dojang, or what have you, your training center, your recreation center, and they're going to have inabilities. They're not going to be able to perform certain things because they're limited because of their physical condition. They might have a bad knee or a bad shoulder or heart problems or respiratory problems, or they might be overweight or obese. These people still need to be served as students. So if they've been with you for a period of time in terms of years, does it make them non-deserving of rank just because they have deficiencies? Just because they can't perform all of the techniques the way the book says? So what I'm getting at is this, and this is real simple. What makes a student worthy of their rank is their drive to accomplish the information that you have laid before them, the task that you have laid before them. When they have the earnesty and the drive and the desire and the passion to do the thing, that's more important than any skill set. Now, some people may not be able to wrap their brains around this because they're limited. Those individuals. I'm not talking to those individuals. They're going to be the naysayers anyway. A lot of times, oftentimes, we look at a student as being someone in perfect health when they walk into our doors. That's not the case. And sometimes people who are in virtually great health walking through the doors, they end up becoming injured down the road. And then they're not able to perform as they were able to early on. So do you dismiss that student and say, well, you're not worthy of this particular rank because you have a handicap now? Do you follow what I'm saying? So what makes a student worthy of their rank is the first thing that I mentioned about the drive and the passion and the yearning to learn. If you see that they have the dedication and the devotion to learn and you're right alongside them pushing them, you can't make them be better than what they are and what they're capable of being. At the end of the day, it's all about their character. That's really what makes the difference. That's what makes that student worthy of their rank. So if I have a black belt that has bad knees and can't kick, or a bad hip like I do now, and you can't do the spinning techniques, and you can't do a lot of the throws and things like that as you were able to do early on, does that make them less worthy to be promoted to the next rank? And they've been with me 15 and 20 years. Versus you who have the same student that's about the same age, in very good condition, who has that rank, and then you want to compare your student of the same rank, let's say first dan, shodan in karate, to my shodan. You say, well, he stinks, his techniques suck. Do you really understand and understand what you're saying? Do you really comprehend what martial arts is really about? It's not about how high you can kick, how fast you are. It's not about how well you can execute a technique. It's not about how many tournament trophies you have won, or if you're the top student in the class in Kumite. It's not about that. Where the rubber meets the road, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about what kind of human being are you at the end of the day. How do you treat your fellow man? Do you have self-respect? And if you do, we know it's obvious that you would have respect for everyone else. And if you have respect for one's self and then everyone else, then you really have answered the question: what makes a student worthy of his or her rank? It's all about humility, and it's about character. This is Brother Teacher, and this is the true lesson from a Grand Master. Now, for those who have this issue with people calling themselves Grand Master and so forth, you just really need to stop comparing everyone to everyone else. Stop singling out one individual because they don't do things the way you do it or have done it. What measuring stick are you using to draw this conclusion that this person is not worthy of whatever? Do you know their history and how they've come? Why is your way of doing things the way that everyone else should do it? That's foolish. It really is. I hope that this was of value to all of those aspiring martial artists, and to many of you who are already practicing martial arts, and many of you who are masters and grandmasters and gurus and doctors in the martial arts and so forth. This is a lesson that many instructors, true instructors, will never teach. Some of them, unfortunately, don't know this lesson, and they shy away from these principles because oftentimes it exposes them for what they really are. And this is not to beat up on anyone. This is not an indictment against anyone. But what I mean by that is this: sometimes the truth about what we don't know is hard to face. So we have a tendency to continue living in our comfort zone. Sometimes you have to leave the comfort zone and learn the things that you don't know and challenge the things that you really should. Much love. This is Brother Teacher. I'll see you in the next video, and so long.